Hey guys, welcome back to my space. This is Chronicles of a Therapist with Cassandra Shepard. So, I wanted to kind of talk about what one of my coworkers said to me because I work at my family business. I've talked about my family business before, and I was just kind of talking to him about like some of the stressors of being in upper management and managing people, especially younger people who've never been in any kind of field, more or less in this DD field, developmental disabilities, a people serving profession, right? It's not numbers, it's not retail, it's not shoes, it's people. And so people forget that when you are working with individuals, it hit different. And so the things that you would do working at Target, you can't do working with people, especially people with a disability. So there's a lot of random nuances that go on. And I was just talking about some of the stressors and some of the ridiculous stuff some of our staff have done or are doing. And he said to me something, and I was like, that's messed up. So he said to me, why do you feel like you need another job? Do you need this much money? And I was like, well, actually, it's not even about the money. This is a family business. So for me, it's deeper. I'm more invested, not just because of the money, but because I see the overarching idea of what my family business is and how it's connecting my family members and building essentially generational wealth within our family. And I think that's super cool. So he was just talking about, he basically said in so many words that he didn't feel the need to care enough for his siblings to sacrifice his time, energy, and frustration for somebody else. And I was like, okay, okay. And the reason why it made me step back is it made me think about my why. It made me think about, was I being a perfectionist? Was I chasing money? Like, why did I feel I needed to get to a place of management and helping fix the gaps within my family business? Why was that so important to me? And so immediately I was like, whoa, it made me feel like maybe I'm doing too much, maybe having all of the stress and dealing and working all the time and having people call you all the time and being attached to the business and what comes of it was an issue. But then when I thought about it, I thought about two things. I thought about the inner workings of my family. And my family is very different, very unique. I definitely come from a completely blended family on both sides. Like, that's just all I know. And so my family is composed of people who are not all blood, if that makes sense. And so, like, to everybody else, it might seem like, well, that's doing too much and you need boundaries. But when you understand a thing and you understand that something is bigger than what it looks like, seeing the ability of my family to network and become closer in the midst of running a business, seeing the ability to have generational wealth and people in my family having such a great idea and saying, we're going to do it. And then having the desire to pull different members in the family to make this evolved and not on we're going to have favoritism, but like I work. If y'all know anything about me, I'm a hard worker, and anything I put my hands to, I'm gonna go over and above because that's what's important to me. Not because I'm trying to get paid or it looks good but really, my parents raised a hard worker, and I value hard work, and sometimes I value it too much so that I don't have boundaries and I need to sit down. But that's important to me, and so it made me think about those moments where I do too much and what that looks like and how I put everybody else in front of me. So much so, I'll knock out stuff that can actually wait because I want somebody else within the executive management or I want somebody else in my family to be okay. I want to take it on. So in real life, it made me think about that's a level of self-abandonment. Like, you can love your family and want my family business to be successful, but not at the cost of affecting you and abandoning what you need. And so while that was a very major statement he said, I was able to flip it and look at it like I don't have to be 120%. I don't have to be the best of the best. While that's my work ethic, and sometimes it happens anyway, I don't have to prove who I am because the people in my family business who know me and know my ability within the work professional realm, I don't have to prove it. They already know, right? And so I really thought about something called self-abandonment. Actually, it's called self-abnegation, which is the act of setting aside your own personal desires, interests, or ego for the benefit of others for a higher moral, spiritual, or ideological principle. And when I thought about that, it sounds like it's doing too much and it's negative. And those of us who grew up in church, we know about love is self-sacrificing and how we have to put others, we have to turn the other cheek, and we have been conditioned and raised to put everybody's needs in front of our own, because that's the good thing to do. Because being a good person means that you can turn the other cheek when people hurt your feelings. But in real life, when we actually think about and really, really think about whatever your faith is, that's not what it was teaching us. It wasn't teaching us to make ourselves smaller so that people can step on us. What it was really trying to teach us is how to have grace for people, and not in a space that's so much grace I lose myself. And I think a lot of us as adults struggle with, who am I? And if I'm doing all these things, how does that add up to what people see me as and how they view me in my roles? And so a lot of us have been conditioned to create these roles and be perfectionists and stuff that you really don't need to do, because you're trying to live up to somebody else's ideas of what you should be doing. And so that's something that, like, personally, I've been going through. Caretaking, y'all know, I love my parents and they got stuff going on medically, seems like always, but, and so being able to stop myself and say, as much as I love my parents and as much as they have poured into me and they're great, I can't fix everything for them. And it's not my job to. And you can say no to those people closest to you, whether it's your kids, whether it's your significant other, whether it's your siblings, whoever it is, you can say no if you feel like you're losing yourself. There's been times and there's been moments where I want to go and go and go, to the fact that now I'm sick. You ever run yourself so ragged, work so much, now you got the flu out of nowhere. Just woke up one day with the flu because you have stressed your body out internally. A lot of times we don't even know how stressed we are. Our body responds to stress. Just because you done figured it out and you running on caffeine and 2 hours of sleep, and I'm gonna just keep drinking caffeine, and you're stressing yourself out and your body is responding. And so sometimes, me included, when I get sick, I'm usually very, very stressed out. And I have internalized it and kind of like kept going instead of saying, I don't want to do that right now. I'm not. I told my mom, she asked me to do something for the family business like last week. And I said, no, I'll put my computer away. I'm not doing it. No, I'll do it tomorrow. You sure you don't want to? Nope, I don't. Because that was my boundary and that's what I needed. Because I had literally reached my own capacity. I hit it. I hit the wall. And I don't know how you guys are, but for me, there's a wall, and when it get hit, nope. Nobody should ask me nothing, because the response that you're going to get is not who I am at my normal. You're going to get the one where I have nothing else. I'm working on fumes, and it's not going to be nice. And what you think you was going to get from me, my normal baseline, you ain't going to get. And then that's when people tell me I'm mean. I hear it all the time, sadly. Um, so, um, what else I thought about is, how do you learn yourself? How do you learn when you've hit your capacity? I think a lot of us, like, either it's I've gotten sick. Something that I've learned personally is, like, I get really mean. And I get mean, like, about stuff that I shouldn't be mean about, like stupid stuff. Like, who peed on the toilet? Now, granted, that's gross, right? And if you got men in your house or boys or kids, it's gross, but it ain't that serious. Or I have a pet peeve of, like, the floor being wet. Like, when I got a shower, it's something that my mom kind of instilled in me, but that will take me over. Like, full blown deep cleaning. Why? It's not that serious. Just put a towel down. Like, you just really wanted to take a shower. Why did you make this one thing a thing? That's how I know that I've hit my wall. Something that is so minute and so small, you trip over somebody's shoe and you about to take all the way off. You have hit your wall, and you need to sit back and figure out what's wrong with you and spend some time as to what you're feeling. Are you overwhelmed? Are you tired? Why can't you sleep? Are you thinking about your list of all the things that you need to do? That means that you've abandoned yourself. You've put everybody else in their list and their agendas above yourself. You don't even know what's going on with you. So I think it's important that we're able to identify that. And I promise it's the little random or a real good reason. If you drive and somebody cuts you off and you want to go chase them down and roll your window down and cuss them out, and that's normally, like, you normally don't have road rage, yeah, yeah, you got some other stuff going on. You need to step back and take a breather. So something I want us to think about is that the relationship with yourself sets a tone for every other relationship that we're connected to. So something to think about till next time. If you like this content, like, share, and subscribe. As always, you can follow me at cnshep_chronicles. And I get up with y'all next time.